All right. We're just going to go ahead and get started right away. Time will start when I create the save file. So 3, 2, 1, go. And we've got a nice loading screen to get us started. And once this is done, we're going to jump right into the first tutorial level. There's a few in a row, but it'll teach us a few different things about the game. Some of those lessons aren't what the game is trying to teach us, but we'll see what we can do. So the first tutorial level, we just need to kill 4 specific monsters. And the way that it wants us to do this is switch between the characters as they become available. But we're just going to do 2 with 2 characters each. The other thing that's weird about this level is it has a mechanic that we will never see again, where every time I kill one of these monsters, it plays this weird cutscene afterwards. So just some extra time, and like I said, this is never going to happen again. So we're going to switch over to Marth now, and have him kill the next 2 monsters. Marth is a little interesting in that his animations, he walks a lot during his attack, so we're going to try to angle him in the direction we want to go. So this 4th monster that we're going to take out actually has a special weird bug with it that I've only ever seen twice. We didn't get it this time. But basically, if you kill it while it's doing its attack animation, it will not actually, or while it's doing an attack animation, you don't get that ending cutscene, and the door opens immediately. So that's the first tutorial level, and we're going to jump right into the second one. Story-wise, that first tutorial level was like a preview for the end game, and then this next one is the actual beginning of the story. So we are introduced to the cutscene we skipped introduced us to the 2 main characters, Rowan and Leanna. They are the twin prince and princess of a kingdom. Neither of them want to actually become the ruler, because Rowan wants to be a knight instead. Leanna has self-esteem issues, I think. But the kingdom is under attack by monsters, and so we're trying to run away. So this is our second tutorial level. All we need to do on this one is kill a single monster. This one also has a weird mechanic that we're never going to see again, where all enemies in the game have what's called a stun gauge. I call it break bar, so get used to that. And we're getting a really bad pattern here. This monster is weird in that until he exposes his own break bar, we cannot kill him. And he is not cooperating. Oh, I've never seen it this bad, actually. Come on, there it is. So now that he's exposed his own break bar, we can finish him off. I'm going to get it down again. Destroy the break bar, which does extra damage, and doesn't finish him off. Okay, finally got that one done. So that is the end of the prologue.
We're here to...
Are you sure you want to skip?
Okay, so now that we've escaped from the tunnels, we got cut off from the queen, and so now we're just leaving her behind and running, I guess. So this level, the thing that it's trying to teach us about is waiting at doors, which is a very fascinating mechanic and something we will be doing a lot of. But we're going to pull some lessons out of this that the game does not want us to learn. So the first one, so the main one is what drives a lot of the going fast in this game, which is managing the dialogue queue, which is just the term that I gave it. There's probably a better way to call it, but that's what we're going with. So the dialogue queue is a big, important piece in this game because all of the levels have a lot of required text and some optional text. And the game, most levels will not end until all of the required text has played. And so we want to make sure that that stuff plays and not the optional stuff. And so what I did just there was I destroyed a small pot, which gave me a yellow potion. And that filled up the bar below my health bar that's now making the flashing A appear. And that means I have a warrior special available. And what a warrior special is it's kind of like what that first intro level was, where we had the extra animation after a kill. But what a warrior special is, we can just trigger it whenever we want, and then it will do a fairly long animation but a massive damage to everything around us. The other thing that's interesting about that is that while that's playing, the dialogue queue is paused. So we're going to manipulate that here because we both want to kill these two final monsters as fast as possible, but we also don't want new text to enter the dialogue queue. Because otherwise, these last two monsters that we're going to come across once this door opens, if you take too long to kill them, then you get a submission to start in the upper right corner of the map. I think a villager gets under attack, but that adds a lot to the dialogue queue. So we're just going to use a warrior special to one-shot the monsters and not give that extra text a chance to enter. So okay, they've grouped up, so we're just going to do that. This will one-shot both of the monsters. Once this is done, the level is actually over, but there's still stuff in the dialogue queue that needs to get played. So I'm just going to run over here, kill a few mooks for some XP. It doesn't actually... XP is fairly inconsequential, but I'll grab it while I have the chance. So once this one goes through, the door will open, and that's the end of the level. Alright. So we are done with the introduction levels. Well, the next level is still an intro, but it's an actual level as opposed to just going straight through. So this game is a crossover of the other different Fire Emblem games. So the next 4 levels after this one are going to be have Fire Emblem Awakening characters, and then we're going to go into Fire Emblem Fates for quite a while before we get back to the main story. So now we have run into Chrom and friends on the road. Since our kingdom was just taken over, we are asking them for help. Chrom says yes because that's the kind of guy he is. And Frederick is like, no, we're going to test you first, which is interesting, but, you know, why not? So in order to pass Frederick's tests, we need to learn about the weapon triangle, which is a very important thing in Fire Emblem games and is also important here. So the weapon triangle is swords beat axes, axes beat lances, and lances beat swords. There's some extra stuff we need to talk about here, but we'll get to that later. So the first thing I need to do is beat 3 swords. I am also a sword, so I don't have any advantage. So I'm just going to group these up and try to get them taken care of as fast as possible. That went really well, but it actually is fine if it doesn't, because one thing this game is really nice about is that when you're learning it, it's very forgiving, because I actually had as long until, if I had taken more time to beat them, I had until Rowan's dialogue box cleared, and I wouldn't have lost any time. So now this door is going to open. We're going to come across 4 lances. Because of the weapon triangle, we're not very good against lances. So we're just going to use a warrior special to try to damage them as much as possible. It doesn't matter if we don't get them all in one go, because they're kind of scattered throughout the room. But we do want to just try to get rid of them as fast as possible. So I got 3 of them and damaged the last, so that's pretty good. So what the game actually wants us to do is it wants us to wait until Lissa becomes available, and then use Lissa to beat them because she's the axe unit. But it takes quite a while for him to become activatable, so it's better to just use the warrior special and take care of it. So as soon as Lissa becomes available, we're going to pick her up as a paired up unit, and we're going to grab another yellow pot because we're going to use another warrior special at the end of the map. So now this door is going to open in just a second, and then we're going to have some more enemies that'll spawn that we're going to have to take care of. So there's going to be 2 axes that spawn on the north side, and 2 more lances that spawn on the south side. So we're going to go take care of those axes first.
I see enemy reinforcements.
So this is the first time we're actually going to have the weapon triangle advantage against an enemy. And you'll notice that when I expose their break bar, it's going to be yellow instead of gray. And so that means, well, that means I have weapon advantage against them. And so what that does is instead of just doing a single target bonus damage, it does that wide AoE, which really lets us take care of groups of enemies in one go. And you also get through the break bar faster as well. It takes less hits to get through it entirely. So I took care of those 2 axes, and I'm going to run down here and take care of the lances. I could switch to Lissa, but I really don't want any. I don't really need any XP on her, so I'm going to use a. With your paired up unit, you can have them help, which is the icon to the immediate right of their portrait in the upper left. And so while that's flashing, I can do ZR plus Y, like it says, to do some extra damage. So that's really helpful where you can get weapon triangle advantage against a enemy of a unit that you're not actually using. So I'm a sword, but I got advantage over a lance because Lissa exposed it. But that doesn't really come up in this version of the speedrun just because we use, for the most part, we use exactly the weapons we want to use. The new game, no DLC category, which has been up the exact same up to this point. It's going to diverge after this level. It uses that a lot more just because they have less options. And while I'm talking about that category, shout out to the PCS guy, or yeah, no PSC. I'm sorry. He recently came back to, or they recently came back to this game and shaved about 10 minutes off of the world record for that category, which is just ridiculous. So here is the last part of the level. We're going to go fight Frederick. We're going to use Lissa to expose his break bar and then use a warrior special immediately to get rid of it, or to break it and do a bunch of damage to him, which is also another dialogue skip. Because if you take too long to beat Frederick, you get dialogue about going to fight him. So actually, I meant to mention this earlier, but I did not. I will be donating $10 per dialogue skip that I miss as an apology for making you guys watch it. As a reference, my PB misses 3 of them, and one of them I've only ever gotten once. So expect some donations there.
Speaking of donations, can I sneak one in?
Yes.
I've got $2 from Ernie that just says, choo-choo! Woo! I think they're wanting to keep that donation train coming.
Yeah, let's keep them coming.
Don't forget we still have some incentives for the next run open. We have about $41 go to get those secret levels up for Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle.
All right, thank you. So I just got an Armor Slayer there, and the game is actually going to force me to equip it, which is nice. Oh, also I'm unlocking DLC. Okay, I have all the DLC characters. So now the game is forcing me to equip my Armor Slayer. The Armor Slayer is, as it says on the tin, is really good against armored units. And that's going to come in... It's going to help us in one spot, too, actually, I guess. Because in addition to the weapon triangle, there's also effectiveness weapons. The Armor Slayer is effective against armored enemies, so it just does extra damage. That's all there is to it. We're going to use some other weapon effectiveness weapons later on, but that's it for here. So here I'm going to set our 2 DLC characters that we're going to be using for the game, Minerva and Azura. So they're just going to get those equipped and go ahead. Azura is a infantry lance unit, and her weapon comes with effectiveness against monsters, which is going to be very handy later on. And Minerva is a flying axe unit, and as a flying unit, she moves much faster than everyone else. The other thing about Minerva is that her attack stat is insane. You'll see in just 1 second, but for a while she's going to pretty much be one-shotting enemies, if not an entire one-shot. I'm going the wrong direction, which is going to probably trigger some dialogue, because now I missed that. Okay, we're fine so far. But yeah, that's how we kill enemies with Minerva for a while, is we just start flying and then we slam on them. And they're dead. Okay, we're good. So here we've got quite a bit of stuff in the dialogue queue, so we're just going to run around killing some enemies. Normally I would not be killing enemies when I don't need to, because like I said, XP isn't super impactful, and it's slow because you get stuff at the end of the level. But at the end of the level, just like how it forced me to equip the Armor Slayer, it's going to force me to get some upgrades. And so we're going to take that opportunity to actually get upgrades we want to get. And those upgrades require materials, which you can see it says over my head that I got a new material. And so I'm just trying to get as many enemies as I can to make sure that I get the materials that I need. So just a few more to go, and then we'll get to the door a little bit before it opens, so we're not losing any time by doing this.
attack. We must help them.
I've received a report.
And don't worry, the Minerva gameplay isn't this boring for the entire game. we're not going to be one-shotting everything all the
Look,
time.
one of them is in danger. We must hurry to his aid.
Oh, I didn't talk about our good friend
Mission
Darius.
starting.
So he is the friend of Rowan and Leanna. Whoops, didn't want to do that. And he is the prince of a neighboring kingdom called Bristone. The two kingdoms are allies, but we're being attacked by Bristone. And Darius doesn't really know what's going on with that, so he's helping us look around. The other piece of story that we want to talk about is that we have a artifact called the Shield of Flames, because you know it's Fire Emblem, so it needs to rename Fire Emblem to something else. All of them do this. So in order to fully power the Shield of Flames, we need 5, I think they're called Gleamstones. And we know that they're associated with heroes in some way. And so in order to actually get the 5 Gleamstones, we need to track down some heroes. And our only lead on heroes right now is Marth, who helped us out in the level when we were escaping from town. So we're going to go try to find Marth now.
This is just another step toward reaching my potential.
And so like I said, right now the game is going to force us into some upgrades.
New has been added.
So let's see.
It's you.
Crest market. It's going to force us to get this defensive crest. We don't actually want that defensive crest, so we're just going to... Okay, that's not great, but it's not a problem. So I didn't actually have the materials for the Minerva upgrade, but I'll just go back into that menu in a little bit, and it'll be fine. So this next level, we need to, in order to get to Marth, and we find Marth leading some Gristone troops for some reason. So in order to actually get to Marth and talk to them, we're going to have to run through this level. And there is currently a sandstorm that is blocking the south part of the map from the north part of the map. In order to... We can actually run through the sandstorm just fine. It doesn't stop us or anything, but we still need to get rid of it.
Seems impassable.
So in order to get rid of the sandstorm, we need to destroy a couple pillars. So the first pillar is right over here. We're going to take this fort,
Spot an odd stone pillar.
and then there will be a pillar on the other side of this gate.
The mission's starting. Fort is ours.
So first pillar down, we're going to switch to Minerva and fly over to the second one.
Is this the pillar Cordelia mentioned? It is kind of sketchy, so let's wreck it.
I like those profit margins.
All right, there's the second fort under our control, which means that we'll have access to the second pillar. Once we've broken the second pillar, we're going to switch over to Azura and run over to Marth to end the level. You can see in the upper left corner of the minimap that there is the red exclamation mark. That means there's an enemy there that has effectiveness against us. So if you can actually bring Minerva there instead, and it works fine, but it's way more risky because Marth's Falchion, I'm going the wrong way. Marth's Falchion has effectiveness against her. So if you mess up and Marth lands a hit, it's basically a one-shot.
How did they make it?
So instead we're just going to take Azura because it's really not any slower at all, because we got here in time for the gate to open even with me going the wrong direction. And we can still beat Marth, and it's perfectly safe. So we take this fort and then just once again wait for a door to open.
The mission's starting.
Alright, so up against Marth, you can, whoops,
Mission complete.
oh, come on.
Are you sure you? The mission's starting.
You can actually defeat Marth before that cutscene starts. It doesn't save any time, but it looks cool.
Final bow.
And that's the end of the level.
I don't see us having a meaningful discussion here.
So after we defeat Marth, they decide to join us, and then we're going to go back and try to deal with the Gristone troops that were attacking
Mission
Atolis, which is the kingdom that Leanna and Rowan are from, because I don't think I said that.
That was well thought. It seems you live up to the legend.
Because I missed that material from earlier, I'm going to run back into the crest upgrade menu, because I would really like to have that ability before this next level. And I got a bunch of Captain's Axes, which I think is what I am normally short on. so it should be fine. I went to the wrong
Come
menu.
in. What should we do?
Okay, there we go. So we,
Come again.
I didn't actually say what we were doing in there. We unlocked new combos for Minerva and Azura, and those are going to be the moves that we use for them for the rest of the game.
Come on.
We'll later on unlock some for Leanna, but right now we're fine with her current moveset. So for this level, we're going to use that Armor Slayer that we got earlier. And so we're going to tell Leanna to go up here,
Okay.
beat the Armor Slayer, tell Azura to guard the base, and we're going to go on the right side with Minerva. So the goal of this level is that we need to kill 3 mages who are powering a dark barrier that won't let us get through to the end. So we're just going to get rid of those and be good to go to actually get to the boss. So we're going to take this fort so we can go through it.
Let's go stop Valadar's twisted ritual.
And then our first mage will be right up here. Minerva is still strong enough to do one-shots, so there goes the mage.
As long as the dark barrier stands.
Someone must be powering that barrier. Let's keep an eye out as we fight.
And then we're just going to keep working our way up north.
Starting.
Here, it's time to teach these fools that fate is not to be trifled with.
Oops, missed that one. Alright.
Stop the Crystone army! Don't let them reach Crom and Robin!
Okay, here's our second mage. I am doing those way too early. It's fine. Leanna has reached the gatekeeper we told her to attack. She kills him in 2 hits because she has effectiveness, so it goes down nice and easy.
The mission's starting.
And there goes the mage. So now we've defeated all the mages, so we just need to wait for this barrier to drop, which should just take a second.
Mission complete. Good to go.
And now we are able to get at Valadar again.
The barrier's disappeared. Now we just need to get Valadar.
So here's the new move we got from Minerva. Does some pretty good damage and is a nice combo.
Right into my hands.
We beat Valadar, but the level's not over because Robin just showed up. And there goes Robin. So this is the end of the Awakening section of the game. Like I said, only the first 4 were Awakening. The next
The mission's starting.
8, I think, are Fates. So there's a lot of Fates in here. But the interesting thing about the Fates section of the game is that it's actually, it takes the route split idea from the original games and puts it in here. So we're gonna do, our units are actually gonna split into 2 groups and go investigate the Fates section of the game separately, which is very interesting in a no DLC category because you only actually have access to half of your units for those maps. For DLC, that's still true. But we still have Minerva and Azura on both, and they're our main units anyway, so we're fine.
I'm out of it.
It really doesn't make that big of a difference to us.
Can speak later.
So we're going to do the Hoshiden side first, which is Birthright in Fates, and we're just going to get that taken care of first, once we finish off this one.
Robin is back to normal and we beat the enemy.
The other thing, little piece of story that we're getting here, is after this level, Crom, a Gleamstone emerges from Crom's chest or something. So we got our first of the 5. Also, Marth was Lucina, in case anyone has not been spoiled by Super Smash Bros. I apologize. We just got a Master Steel. We're going to do something with that in like a half hour, so don't worry about that one yet.
Something new has been added.
Okay, so now we're on the Fate section. Like I said, there's, okay, so there's 3 Hoshiden ones and 3 Norians, and then 2 joined up ones. So for the first 6, they're going to follow the same pattern of we beat one of the royals, they join us, we move on to the next one. So this is Hinoka's map. The interesting thing about this level in this category is that the game does not expect us to have a flying unit at this point in the game. So we're able to skip over a bunch of stuff we would otherwise have to do because there are special flying passages that we can take. The other thing that's cool about this level is it has a big dialogue skip, and it has probably the most complicated setup,
Mission started.
or easiest one to miss. So this knight is not required. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat that steel knight so he ends up in the dialogue queue. And now I'm going to beat these two. Oh, all right, or that's $10. So ideally, I don't want to get any of this text. Getting over these cliffs will be difficult, up to... I'll be able to call it out, and you'll see exactly how much time it costs. So the idea there is you want to queue up all of those defeat texts in a row, so they never actually trigger or they never get in the dialogue queue, and we're able to just get the exact required text that we need. So I guess it was just those 3 lines, but this stuff that's currently playing would have played earlier if we had not done those other 3 lines that inserted themselves in. Okay, so this is now where we, this is back to required text. So this next keep has what's called a dragon vein in it, and what the game expects you to do is take this keep, use the dragon vein, which will then turn the flight path into solid ground. We don't need to do any of that because we're already using a flying unit. So we're just going to bypass that entirely, which actually leads to a somewhat funny scenario where we end the level earlier than the game thinks is possible. So we're able to, normally when you end a level, all of the enemies despawn. But here, we're going to have control for a while still, even after the level ends, just because it's not supposed to be possible for us to do it this quickly.
I need to get to Hinoka right away.
So we're just going to quickly take care of her, and that's the end of the level. But we're still able to control things because the game hasn't actually started the final mission yet. And there we go.
Mission complete.
Mission started. Now we can end the level.
I'm coming.
Now would be another good time for some announcements.
You're wrong, Hinoka.
Absolutely. Well, we got $41 from non-binary code that says, I'm a simple NB. I see incentives that can help kids with cancer. I donate to those incentives. Yeah, what's up, Doc? Bugs Bunny. That's what's up.
Daily training.
And another $25 from donation, or $25 donation from Anonymous with no comment. With that, the Bugs Bunny Secret Castle all levels incentive was met. Our next one up is the Squidlet All Buses run, $100 to go, as well as we've opened up the bid war for the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer Harp Song and Zero Miss Sprite Choice. So get your donations in. Let's get more of those runs.
What's my task?
All right, so for this next level, we need to capture all of the forts. Whoops, that is the wrong order.
Will be done. Ready for orders.
And in order to do that, we're going to spread our units around the map and tell them to do different actions, just to keep that as organized and quick as possible. So we sent everyone to forts where they have the advantage, so that makes things nice and easy. So the other thing that's interesting about this level is that this is the only level where we don't deploy one of our lords. So our main lord we chose at the beginning of the game to be Leanna. During the split, Rowan becomes your lord, but on this particular level, Rowan is sick, and so he can't be deployed. So we actually deploy 4 units, and none of them are lords, which this is the only level where that happens.
The mission started. Let's go.
Okay, there is the second fort. Crom will take this one. Sakura already took care of hers because she is a bow unit, and I sent her to a flying one, so that goes nice and fast. We're going to tell her to move over to the next one we want her to take.
Mission complete.
Let's open the gates and draw them in. That way we can just pick them off.
So the next series of gates will open in just a second. So now we're going to tell Azura to go to the boss and Sakura to take that fort, while we take Minerva and take these last 2 forts.
Wish I could fight with you.
We've got to get our hands on those herbs. Everyone, secure the fort. I've received a report. Trust me.
All right, and
Let's go.
Sakura should take her fort in just 1 second.
The mission started.
There it is.
Mission complete.
So now this gate will open.
Paths all clear.
You were looking for a fight. Now you've got one.
Mission starting. I see enemy reinforcements.
There's another one. That's another $10. So you can actually beat this level fast enough where this samurai will not appear. He's trying to report to Captain or to Oboro. We beat Oboro like 3 minutes ago, so I don't really know what he's planning on doing.
Messenger. We can't let him get in our way. Please stop that man. The mission's starting.
You're not going to get away with this. Ow! Hey! Knock it off! Let me go!
So now that we've captured all the forts, we finally found the herbs that will heal Rowan, so he'll be back up to fighting strength in the next level.
I did it.
And that next level will be the final level on the Birthright side of the split, and then we'll switch over to the Norian side. So this final level is, once again, just take all the forts, and then we also need to beat some enemies that are attacking Ryoma.
Yep, you. Lady, Lord, we're other.
Once again, we're going to deploy our units such that they are fighting enemies that they're strong against, and do a quick bit of extra menuing at the start to get that all lined up. So we're going to switch these two,
What's my task?
put Minerva back in,
As you wish. Yes.
Minerva attack the gates,
What?
Crom pair up with Minerva.
Right.
That's not really necessary, but it makes it menuing easier.
It will be done. Let's go.
And jump right into the level. So for this level, we need to, there's gatekeepers on both the right and the left. So we're going to first take out those gatekeepers to send Rowan and Azura farther into the fort.
We're in
Or-
for a tough fight.
Yeah.
And Ryoma's in the thick of it.
Put me in.
So tell Rowan to go there. Switch to Azura. Her gatekeeper likes to wander away, which is interesting.
The mission's starting.
Yeah, you can take care of this.
Yes.
Tell
it
her to
will
go
be
there.
done.
Switch to Minerva. Take that fort.
I've received a report.
Get rid of another gatekeeper.
All right. Ryoma is right in the middle.
And then hero the 4 enemies that I mentioned that are attacking Ryoma. So we're just going to do a couple slams and take care of all of them.
Mission complete. Are you sure?
All right, focus on this area first. We must push them back.
Yeah, make them regret turning their swords on us. Kill them all.
Oh, that was
Mission
interesting.
starting. Mission complete.
Okay.
Trap all
So path's just cleared up, so
Yes.
we're going to tell Minerva to take the right, because we're going to have her do the next right fort and then the top 4, or top 3.
Think you can just do whatever you want?
Azura is taking one more on the left. And while I just clean up the forts, if there are any other announcements, now would be a great time.
All right, let's move. Clear the next
Well,
floor.
let's
We can
take a
advance
look.
from there.
I've got a $1 donation from Anonymous that says, "Good luck with the run. Read Sea of Stars on AO3 and FFN."
The mission's starting. The fort is
Yes, do
ours.
that.
I'll assume that means something.
It does.
Okay.
Those
It,
Norians
well,
come
it says
taking
what
all
it's on the
ballistic.
tin. Go read the story.
And as a reminder that Midwest Speed Fest this year is going to in support of the Children's Cancer Research Fund. Since 2016, they have donated more
The fort is
to
ours.
25 different research organizations and hospitals nationwide. They focus their resources on where they can do the most good, meaning they don't just focus on one hospital or one state. They're making a change possible for kids no matter where they live.
Keep it up. We're breaking through. Victory could be ours soon.
All right, so we're just cleaning up this last fort, and there it is. Even though that was a sword unit, we had plenty of time because dialogue was playing. So even though it was a little slow with Minerva, it was
Mission
fine.
complete.
So now, like I said, this was the last of the Birthright / Hoshiden side, so we're going to switch over to Norians now. And
I knew you could take care of yourself.
this would be a lot, the Norian side especially, would be a lot slower if we didn't have Minerva and Azura. It goes really fast with them.
Thank you all. I knew I could count on my siblings.
right, and so we need to remember to menu back over because our cursor is going to stay on Ryoma's map, which is not ideal.
I feel like I know you a little. I'm pleased we've been able to get to know each other better.
All right, didn't re-enter the level. Excellent. So now we're going to go into here. This level, the requirement is we need to beat 3 Wyvern Riders, take a fort, and then beat Camilla. We're going to use Minerva to do all of that, because she's good and fast. But one thing that we're going to do in order to actually beat Camilla quickly is we're going to use another new mechanic that we haven't done up to this point, and that is a Awakening. So what the Awakening is it's the bar to the left of my portrait. As I do combos, or as I destroy break bars, it'll fill up automatically. But there's also, just like the Warrior Special where we destroyed a pot and pick up a potion, Awakening has the exact same thing. So there's going to be a pot towards the end of the level that's very conveniently placed, where we can just grab it and we'll fill up all of our bars.
Mission complete. Nice! The base is protected.
Alright, so this is a rainbow pot, so it just actually gives us full health, full awakening, and full warrior special, so it's very handy. So as soon as this door opens, we're going to go into awakening. The nice thing about awakening, I don't think I actually said what it does, it gives us effectiveness against all enemies. So even though we were axe against axe, we just one-shot Camilla because we had effectiveness against her. We'll be using Awakening a decent amount towards the second half of the game. The other thing that's really nice about it is that while you are in Awakening mode, you cannot be staggered by enemy attacks, which is very handy. It also has a slight downside where when it ends, it basically does a warrior special at the end of it, which is slow when you don't need that extra piece of damage. So most of the time when we use Awakening, it's at the end of the level like this, where we don't get that animation because the level is already over.
Daily training yields
The next level is Leo's, and Leo's level is extremely easy. All we need to do is beat Niles and then Leo, and literally that's it. Ideally, those would in fact be the only 2 enemies we beat. So at the beginning of the level, we're going to redeploy Azura because it replaced her with someone else, and then we're just going to pick up Azura with Minerva, and then fly over to Niles, and then bring
Right here.
set character.
May fate be on house.
Okay.
Let's go.
So yeah, so we're going to beat Niles with Azura, and then take Minerva over to Leo and get that win there.
Are you sure?
So immediately switch to Minerva, track down Azura as she tries to run away from us, and fly over here. Niles is an archer, so we don't want Minerva fighting him. Speaking of, shoutouts to this archer just standing on the lava.
Where there's Niles, there's Leo. We'll deal with the retainer, trust me.
Alright, so
The mission's starting. Ooh, it's dangerous up ahead.
and there goes Niles. So I'll switch back over to Minerva and fly over to where Leo's
We'll
at.
have to cool them somehow, or this battle may prove difficult.
Oops, that's a rock.
A dragon vein could help with this.
It wants us to use Dragon Veins to get rid of the lava, but we're just flying over all the lava,
Mission's
so
starting.
we don't care about that.
Lord Leo, forgive me.
And then here is another pot. We're going to grab that, give us full warrior special. We're actually going to drop off Azura here. When you have 2 units and they both have a warrior special available, it will do more damage, but also do a slightly longer animation. But we don't need the extra damage, and so we might as well avoid the extra animation. So we're just going to drop off Azura. Once again, we're going to use a warrior special to finish off the level. Because it's faster, we skip extra stuff from entering the dialogue queue.
I see enemy reinforcements.
So as soon as we get to Leo, it's going to be a really tough fight. I'm going to press A, and that's the level. we go. There's the end of the level. So next is Xander's, and Xander actually is a fairly complicated level.
Mission complete.
At its core, it's simple because all we need to do is take all the forts, and once again, just like with Ryoma where we beat enemies that were attacking him, we're going to do the same thing with Xander.
Someone tell me
But there's a lot more other stuff going on that map that we're going to have to take care of.
Daily training yields success.
We got a single tomato from that map
Wise choice.
for our only drop. We take those. So now we're in Xander's map. Like I said, there's some extra stuff that we have to do. One of the main things is that there is a large section of fog that's covering up the map. The fog technically isn't required to, you don't have to get rid of it, but it makes things way easier if you do. So that's going to be one of the first things we do on this level is we're just going to take Azura around, take a couple forts, and clear out the fog. The main reason why we want to clear out the fog is because the enemies that I mentioned that are attacking Xander, they just kind of hide out in the fog, but as soon as you clear it, they go and actually all group up in one spot. So it makes things way easier.
The mission's starting.
Because otherwise you'd have to find them in here, which is
Thick.
not
How
fun.
will we find Xander in this?
So we took that keep,
We may be able
I
to
got
get
lost
closer
there,
to the dragon vein.
took out that gatekeeper,
The mission's starting.
and then here is the second fort that was in the fog. This is the one with the dragon vein. So we will use the dragon vein, clear the fog, tell Azura to go here, switch to Minerva.
The Norian army will collapse without Xander. We must save him at all costs.
Where is he?
I
There he
received
is.
a report.
And then we're going to tell Leanna to go up here.
Okay.
Well, we take Minerva and go around this
Mission
way.
complete.
There is this large section of purple on the minimap that is poisonous fog. While you're in there, you will slowly take damage, but it's not enough to actually matter, so we're just going to go right through.
What a relief. Now we can see where we're going.
However, the poisonous fog is still important to us, because after a while, Leo is going to complain about it, which we don't want him to do,
There are
because
so many
it's more stuff in the
enemies.
dialogue
We
queue.
need to hurry to
So what we're going to do is the fort in the upper left where I sent Leanna, the mage that is causing the fog is actually up in there. So when I take the fort, I'm going to make sure that I angle my kill on the captain to also hit the mage. So that way it kills the mage, and then even before Leo gets a chance to complain about the fog, it's already gone. So that that text won't trigger. Right, and that is the last fort, so now we just need to wait for some dialogue to play. At this point, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to wander around, protect my forts, and make sure they don't get captured while everything is playing. You don't have to do this, but it's a little bit of safety. While I'm just running around, now is another time for announcements if we got any.
We must stop this crisis.
I like
Well,
this
it just so
rocket.
happens we just got a $25 donation from Anonymous that says, really generous of you to keep hitting the skippable dialogue. Consider me inspired.
The mission's
If
starting.
you're enjoying the marathon, please consider following Midwest Speed Fest. We're a Minnesota-based organization that has been hosting speedrun marathons since 2015. In late summer and early spring, we partner with 2DCon and VGMCon respectively to help raise money for their chosen charities and bring even more entertainment to their conventions. We host online events occasionally as well, also in support of charity. So far, we've raised over $60,000 for various causes, and we hope to see that continue to grow exponentially with your support.
Let's go.
All right, so we got some extra reinforcements from Hoshido, but we don't care about that. Because all we need to do is take the last fort to end the level. So as soon as the door opens, we're just going to take out this Falcon Knight. That's the end.
All of our forts have fallen.
So now that we've done the 2 branching paths, we've completed both of them, so we're going to have everyone join back up. Hoshido and Nor still don't like each other, so we're going to have to deal with that little piece of fallout first.
Who are you?
So on this next level, everyone we've recruited so far is perfectly fine to work with each other after a little bit of arguing. But Ryoma and Xander are still going at it. So we're going to have to try to stop them. And this level is actually another interesting one where we are going to be going down 2 paths at once. So we're going to have Hinoka take all the enemies on the left. Oh, I need to go to the next level. And have Minerva take out all the ones on the right. At its core, though, it's just another take all forts.
You've s-
Oh, and by the way, everyone's looking for Corrin, but we don't know what happened to Corrin yet. So I'm going to do some redeploys here.
Yes.
Tell
Okay.
Yes.
Leanna to take that fort, do this swap,
Yes.
do this swap,
What is
set
I'll see it
Hinoka,
done. Ready for
Lucina,
order.
take
Understood.
that fort.
Yes.
Okay.
Onward.
So
Let's
Lucina
go.
and Leanna, I told them to take those two forts. They will do it on their own. I don't need to do anything else about that on this level. So I can just focus on the forts that are on the sides and not those two at the top.
Are you sure you want to
So immediately switch to Hinoka and then fly over here to this first fort.
Ryoma or Xander. Let's hurry to the bases.
It'd be dangerous to go straight to them.
And
We
I'm
should
going to take a
capture the
slight
forts
detour
first.
here to break this blue pot and get some awakening.
What's my tab? I'll see that it's done. The mission's starting.
We should split up. We'll lose if we focus everything on just one army.
Mission complete. We've diminished both forces. Stay strong.
Then once I take this fort, I'm going to switch back to Hinoka and then continue down her side.
We're being attacked by Norians.
Yes.
That's not
There
possible.
we go.
I'll take the lead. I see enemy reinforcements. The mission's starting. Now's our chance to take the bases and make everyone stop fighting.
And I'm trying to build up as much awakening as I can here. This is the one level where I'm very much at risk of running out and
I see enemy
getting that extra animation that I talked about. But my awakening is full, so I actually have a decent chance of getting through in one go. So now this side opened. There was a gate here earlier.
Take it back.
And so now Minerva can finish to the end of her side.
Reinforcements. The mission's starting.
Who is attacking us from behind? Launch an attack.
Alright, so we're done with Minerva on the level. Switch back to Hinoka.
See enemy
Wait for her gate to open. She also has a gatekeeper on her side. It's an armored unit though, so it actually takes her forever to get rid of it. So that's why we're going to use Awakening here.
I cannot go on. The base is falling. I've never seen it.
And hopefully this will give me back a good chunk of Awakening. It does. Sometimes you just don't get it there, which is really weird, but that can be a problem.
We've got to hurry.
Okay, that was really good. It's pretty actually rare for me to get the kill without exiting Awakening.
These guys are tough. We must warn Lord Xander.
That's interesting. This is extra dialogue, but it's not the extra dialogue that I'm used to. I'll call that $10 anyway.
Xander will be
So
sure
that's-
to send
I'm
for
up to 30.
reinforcements. Stop that messenger.
The mission's starting.
If you're really quick, you can avoid the submission. I'm used to getting the submission for the other side.
Mission complete.
So it's Hoshiden reinforcements and not Norian.
Norian army can't fight any longer.
Maybe now they'll listen to us about stopping this fighting.
So now that we've successfully gotten both armies to stop, Xander and Ryoma just kind of disappear though. And so we need to track them down still. And we still don't know what happened to Corrin. So maybe we can figure out what's up with that.
I feel like we've grown even closer.
Oh hey, what happened to Corrin?
There's only
Ryoma and Xander are now being mind controlled and are attacking us. It's fun. This level is great, not because it's particularly interesting, but because it has the best voiceover in the game. The boss is very hammy and it's fantastic.
Let's go.
So I'm just going to immediately switch to Minerva, run around, take some forts that we need to. At this point, we're just running away from Ryoma and Xander because their stats are massively inflated, so we can't actually do anything about them. So switch over to Minerva and just basically fly away.
They're too formidable for us right now. We should secure the forts and escape.
I'm going to pick up Leanna mostly for some safety. The other, I don't think I mentioned the other thing that pair up gives you, which is the icon to the right of the sword. When that shield is full, then Leanna will block one attack that's intended for us, which is very good because the boss does, the boss is a mage, and Minerva's has really bad res. So if we do get hit by a stray attack, we're in trouble. So it's really nice that we pair up with Leanna and get that extra safety.
You're all bark and no bite.
I see enemy reinforcements.
This is Iago. He's fantastic.
Iago, so this was your work. You'll pay dearly.
I'm probably
for
going
this,
to talk
you
less on
disgrace.
this level just so we can hear Iago.
The mission's starting. We've got a new objective. Paths all clear.
Okay, so we need to get over to him first. We need to take one more fort in order to actually do that.
The fort is ours.
All right, we've opened one escape route. Quickly, to the next fort.
The mission's starting. Mission complete. The fort is ours.
Did you really think I'd simply reveal myself?
That wasn't the real Iago,
I see enemy
so we need to go fly around and try to find him.
Launched an attack from afar.
And by that, I mean I know where he's going to spawn, and we need to do some other stuff first.
There was a sage anticipating our moves
this
and
way.
calling down lightning there.
The mission's starting.
Ah, that hurt. Suppose it's my cue to exit stage left.
I like those profit margins.
Also, Ryoma and Xander are no longer mind controlled, so that's nice. Oh, also Corrin's here.
Oh, I'm not running. It's called a tactical retreat, you fool. Look it up.
The fort is ours.
So now some more enemies showed up in the upper right corner of the map.
I see enemy
In
reinforcements.
predictable manner, there are 3 mages powering a dark barrier. We need to kill the mages.
There's no way through.
There's the dark barrier, and 1 mage is
Wall
down.
of darkness should dissipate if we find and destroy its caster.
The mission's starting. Fort is ours. Fort is ours.
And there goes the 3rd mage, so the wall of darkness will drop in just a second. There's another rainbow pot here, conveniently placed. So we're going to go into Awakening to beat Iago for the final
Why
time.
is everyone from Nor and Hoshido together? Change of plans. I've received a report.
So once this level's done, we're done with the Fates section of the game, and so then we'll effectively go back to the main
I
plot.
see enemy reinforcements.
And the wall just kind of disappears there for a second.
The mission's
It's an interesting
started.
visual glitch.
Mission complete.
Okay, so now the wall is finally dropped, and so we're just going to go after Iago and finish it.
They've broken through. Well, I've been waiting for some drama.
And there's Iago.
Come out and fight, you coward. I'll kill you myself.
So we just got a 2nd Master Seal from beating Iago. So immediately after this is when we're going to use both of our Master Seals. What they're used for is upgrading your unit to a next class. So we're going to upgrade Leanna and Azura, give them big stat increases, and get some new combos for Leanna, actually, which is going to be very helpful.
Mission complete.
Is that all you have to offer? Scary words? Ooh, I'm trembling.
Are you
All right,
sure
so
you
that's
understand?
done. Also, cutscene time. We got 3 more Gleamstones. Turns out Ryoma, Xander, and Corrin all had one. So we're actually at 4 to 5, which is pretty good.
Something new has been added.
So, like I said, we're going to go into our
I've been waiting for you.
to our menu. We're going to level up our units as much as we can. I want you to pay attention to, or a few of them. I want you to pay attention to how many stats I get on these level ups. They're decent, but they're not great. Like Chrom is, well, I guess Chrom is doubling his strength effectively. We're upgrading Leanna, Lucina, Chrom, and Azura. In order to use a Master Steel on a unit, they need to be at least level 15. Azura and Leanna are both below that, which is why we do these upgrades in the first place. So Leanna used the Boots Crest, which uses up our first Master Steel. This has a nice little animation as they promote to the new class. And so this is going to show, they're going to get more stat ups here. And I want you to watch how many stats they get. Yeah, so you effectively get 30 levels off of a increase. That's interesting. I normally get all of those. I don't think I need that last one, but that's unexpected. I also grabbed a couple extra upgrades while I was in that menu for Leanna, and I'm going to do the same thing for Azura. Those other upgrades are improvements to Awakening Mode and the Break Bar. So those are just going to be nice to have later on. So now that we've done these class upgrades, we're going to be using... I don't need that. We're going to be using Azura and Leanna a decent amount more, as opposed to before when Minerva was just really carrying us. So now Darius is like, hey, we should go invade Gristone for some reason. But he's got an idea. I think there's something to do with the Shield of Flames there, and so he's gonna show us the way in, and we'll have a better shot at our quest. So in order to actually do that, this is going to be what everyone's favorite type of level is, an escort quest. In order to actually proceed this level, we need to escort Darius to the middle fort and then into a fort inside the keep. And his AI does not always like to do that. The most consistent way that I found is literally kill all of the enemies around him, so that's just what I'm going to do. And I would have showed off Leanna's new combo there, but I dropped it. So we'll just keep that a surprise for later. So switch over to Minerva. What was that? I actually don't know what that was. Interesting. Okay. We've defeated some enemies with Minerva. We're just going to go in here and take the South Fort. That happened way earlier than usual because of Minerva taking the damage, but that's fine. Switch over to Azura. Actually, how do I want to manage this? Okay, we'll do this.
They're in trouble. We've got to help.
I'm being repelled.
This is going to be a common pattern for the rest of the game. Hinoka is just going to cart Azura around everywhere.
Fort is out.
It's very helpful.
Now we've got a turret at our disposal.
Okay. Minerva is damaged, so we're going to do that. Oh, wait. Okay, it's fine. So this middle fort is going to open. There's a bunch of enemies in here. Ideally, we take all of them out in one hit. That did not happen, but we're fine.
Only one fort left. That must be where the device to lower the drawbridge is.
Alright. So we beat all the enemies in the fort. There's this random dragon over here, so we're going to get rid of that too. I don't really know why it's here, but let's get rid of it.
I've received a report.
Alright, Minerva healed, so that's good.
I've received a report.
We defeated all the enemies. Darius is moving, so that's... Oh, and he stopped. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Come on.
Now let's press forward and attack.
Trust me.
Go. No, there's no one worth fighting here. Please. Nope, and he stopped again.
The fort is ours.
Just move, please. Please. You're so close. There we go. Nope, and he stopped again.
Trust me.
He's normally not this bad, but also this isn't that unusual. Come on. Yep, nope, and he stopped. Thank you. Okay, Darius is now at the middle fort, so he's going to lower the drawbridge. I don't know why only Darius can lower the drawbridge, but that is the case. So now that he's finally done that, we're able to go from the north side, and then we're going to take the middle fort.
Mission complete.
All the drawbridges are down, but we still have walls to contend.
So we're going to take this fort as well on the way in. There's going to be a sage right up here, and he summons monsters. So we're just going to get rid of him before his dialogue even plays, so that's no longer a factor.
Fort is ours. Now
There
we
he
have
is.
a turret at our disposal.
The monster, or the owner of this fort is a monster. Azura has effectiveness, so there goes the monster. So now we need to escort Darius to that middle fort. So we're just going to go over here from the other direction and use Azura's combo move to just do that. Clear out a bunch of enemies in one go.
Darius, the path to their base is
I find that on this section, Darius normally starts moving once this lance unit is gone. So he should start moving now.
The front is clear. Get a move on, Darius.
One thing that I haven't mentioned up to this point that I've kind of been trying to do, but it really isn't too risky other than this level, is where it says KOs in the bottom right. I want to keep that below. Whoops. I want to keep that below 1,000 because there's some unlockables on most levels that trigger when you hit 1,000 KOs. But like I said, this is really the only level where you're at risk of that happening. So Darius has reached the middle fort. We're good to continue inside. Just kidding, there's a bunch of monsters outside. We have to run away now. So that's the end of the level. Darius goes in the fort, gets captured. We get saved by Marth, the actual Marth, not Lucina this time. And Marth is like, hey, I think I know where you guys can get some new swords. And we're like, yeah, we're all about that. So we're going to take a slight detour before we go to save Darius. And this is the only Shadow Dragon level. Awakening got 4, Fates got 8, Shadow Dragon gets 1. This level features a new strat that I came up with literally 2 hours ago. I have tried it 5 times and it worked 4 of them, so we're gonna see how that works. So we're gonna do our deployments for the rest of the game. So we're gonna have our same 4 units that we were using earlier, but then we're gonna deploy our falchions for the other ones. And then I'm also gonna have Minerva follow Takumi. That's actually, it's not required. We don't need her there. But if we don't, then Minerva is going to take the flight path on the left side of the map and then trigger some extra dialogue. So we can just cut all that out. So we're going to immediately switch to Hinoka, pick up Azura, and then go find Garneth.
Garneth. He was our enemy in my world.
So we're going to beat Garneth once, and then he's going to disappear. And then 3 more Garneths are going to show up on different points of the map. It is never the top Garneth. And I used to think, well, used to as in 3 hours ago, I used to think it was a coin flip. But now what I'm pretty sure the case, like which one is the real one, I'm pretty sure now that, I'm using the wrong move, but it's fine.
This tree is bigger than expected.
There we go. I'm pretty sure whichever one you attack first is never the correct one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Azura and Hinoka to the one on the left. I'm going to move Liana to the one on the right, have Liana attack the one on the right, and then immediately switch back over and take them out with Azura and Hinoka. So we're just going to get over here, switch so they can't run away as well. We're going to pick up someone just for good measure, and then run over to where Garneth spawns. There he is. There's Liana's new move. We haven't seen it up to this point. So in theory, now this has to be the real one because I've damaged the one on the right. So this one should now be the correct Garneth. If it's the wrong one, it'll disappear at half health, so we are good to go. Nope, it's the wrong one. Okay, new strat doesn't work. We're back to coin flips. And just to finish him off a little bit faster, I'm going to go into Awakening mode here. And there we go.
Let's get it.
So we finally tracked down the real Garneth.
I've received a report.
We got extra dialogue. I'm counting that. I think I'm up to 40 bucks.
Mission complete.
So, like I said, Marth told us there were swords here, so we're going to go grab those swords. Also, I think we got Marth's Gleamstone at this point, so now we have fully filled up the Shield of Flames. So our quote-unquote Fire Emblem is ready to go.
The ivy's cleared. Now we can reach the top.
So we can get our hands on a new power.
So this is going to be our last menu before entering a level. From this point on, we're just going to run directly into every level. All we have to do is equip our new swords.
Something new has been added. How's
Optimize
this?
equipment. All right, new swords have been equipped, and we're good to go. So now we're going to save Darius, and this is the same map as 2 levels ago, but we're just going to go straight onto the inside instead of messing around on the outside. This one has a door that we are going to be waiting at for a while, so there's definitely going to be some announcements when we get there, but I'll let you know when that happens. Because we're going to slowly work our way inside, and then once we get fairly far in, then we just need to wait for it to actually open. So we're going to tell Hinoka to move down, pick up Azura, and we're going to take the first fort with Leanna and then switch over to them and get rid of the rest of the level.
Where would they be keeping Darius? We gotta find him.
We've attacked this
All right,
place
so
before.
that fort is down.
Be
Switch
on
to
alert.
Hinoka. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna pick up Azura and then run through the rest of the map with these two.
Let's go. The fort is ours.
We've taken the outer fort. Now we must attack the interior.
Okay, so this next fort has another yellow pot in it, which is very helpful because the final enemies of the level are 3 dragons and a monster. The monster isn't a problem because we just effectively one-shot it, but the dragons are very tanky. So we're just going to use a warrior special to take them out in one go. So I'm going to pick up this pot and continue on our merry way.
Let's go.
So this next door will open pretty soon, and then we have 2 more forts to take.
Darius, please be all right.
Paths all clear.
Next fort is another couple swords, just avoid that, and there goes the fort.
You, where's Darius? Answer me.
I saw someone bring him toward the back. There's no way he's still alive.
Okay, now would be a great time for some announcements, because as soon as I get this guy, we're just going to be waiting for a while for a door to open.
All right, sounds good. Well, we get a $10 donation from Brent that says, good luck. And a
Thank
$20 donation from Cole with no comment, but thank you so much for your donations.
Attack the enemy's rear. Make them scatter.
Taking a look, don't forget, we still have our Squidlet all bosses, befriend all Squidlets incentive. That's still open. $100 away. Hasn't really seen any activity yet. We also have our incentives for the True Pacifist ending Undertale run with the Hug the Goat and Name the Human, as well as our bid wars for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, the Harp Song, and the Zero Miss Sprite choice. And if I know the work that the Free Enterprise devs do on those Zero Miss Sprites, you're in for a treat no matter what you bid for.
The fort is ours.
All right, so while I was waiting, I switched over to Minerva for a little bit, because while I've got the time, I just moved her away from an archer, because she really likes to pick a fight with that archer otherwise, which does not go well for her. So the door will open just a second, actually. And then, like I said, we need to take 1 more fort and then beat the final 4 enemies.
Everyone, move out.
On the way there, there's going to be a dark portal that if we get too close to it, it's going to trigger a cutscene, so I'm just going to hug the left wall and completely avoid that.
The Shield of Flames is in the northern banquet hall.
Take the lead.
There will be monsters guarding it. This will be no
So
ordinary.
here's our final room with our dragons and the monster. Normally the monster attacks us, so that was actually really nice. And then I'm just going to stand in a spot where it hits all 4 of them and use a warrior special, which should finish off the level.
Stand in our path and we will defeat you.
And there it is. Oops. There it is.
Mission starting. Are you sure you want to?
Alright, so we got to Darius. Oh, by the way, Darius is evil. Because this is actually the plot of Sacred Stones. Which I haven't played, I should do that. Also spoilers.
I feel like we've grown even closer.
So, now that we figured out Darius is evil, we're gonna have to deal with him. Also, they have the queen, so I think they're trying to sacrifice her or something. Because we haven't seen her for a while, but she finally showed back up. So in order to get to Darius, we're going to have to do another split map where there are enemies on the top and the bottom that will be working our way. Whoops, I can skip already.
Yes?
So we're going to have Leanna and Minerva take the south,
It will be
while
what's my
Azura
task.
and Hinoka take the top.
I'll see how's. Let's go.
Once again, there's another wall of darkness. The reason why we're splitting up is because there is a sage on both sides that we need to get rid of. Wrong direction. There we go.
I've received a report.
Alright, so here's our first gatekeeper.
We need to find another way inside the castle.
Going down nice and easy.
One group will take the north, the other takes the south.
This armored unit is a lot more tankier, so we normally don't combo him down in one like we did the other one.
Can't be far from here.
Yeah, no such luck. But it's fine, because it gives Leanna a chance to catch up, and there's Leanna.
Aimed right at us.
Alright, so now we're going to send these two to the next spot while we switch over to these guys and take out the gatekeeper. There we go.
I've received a report. Paths all clear. My heart is-
And now these two will continue on.
What's my task? I'll see that it's done. Out with the path. You've taken a fort with turrets. Let's put them to work. Now we've got a turret at our disposal.
So here's the first of the two sages.
Fort is ours.
So we'll just combo him down, hopefully.
We got another fort with turrets. Let's turn them on
Oops,
the
and I dropped the combo, so that's fine.
Now we've got a turret at our disposal.
That's the guy, right?
There he
Take
is.
him out and get rid of that barrier.
So now we're done with Minerva on this level. Azura's gonna... And Hinoka got hit by lightning. I've been hit twice by lightning this level, or this run, which is not something that normally happens.
We've got to get to him right away. I received a report.
Alright, there goes the second sage. So now the Wall of Darkness will drop in just a second, and we'll be able to continue on and get to Darius. This fight is very annoying, because we have a few seconds to just wail on Darius, but we can't actually get him down in one in that amount of time. Once that time is up, 4 statues are going to activate in the room. And while those statues are activated, they will attack the floor that we are standing on, which is not great. What the game wants you to do is it wants you to take 4 forts around the area, which will then disable the dragon statues. But that takes a lot of extra time to do. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to build up Awakening, or do our best to do so at least. I need more. This should get me there. Okay, I have Awakening now. So now I'm fine. So what I'll do is I'll be able to switch into Awakening mode. And like I said earlier, while you're in Awakening, you can't get staggered. So we're going to take full advantage of that and just completely ignore the dragon statues that are attacking us.
Mission starting. I see enemy reinforcements.
Hopefully I can get him down before my Awakening wears off.
Enemy reinforcements.
Yeah, okay, we're good. So then we avoided the Awakening
Are you
end
sure you want to
animation.
skip? voice feels even stronger than usual today.
And so we beat Darius, but he's still around. We're gonna have to go do that again. He gets powered by some evil magic, so we're gonna need to deal with that first. So on this next level, we're gonna split into 3 groups instead of 2 like the last level, because now there are 3 sages that are powering him up. So we're gonna have to deal with all 3 of those. So we're gonna send Leanna up to the upper left, Zura and Hinoka down to the lower left, and Minerva will take the right. Leanna's path is currently blocked, so we're not going to give orders. That's not quite what I want to do, but it's fine. So we're going to have Minerva take care of the first gatekeeper to open up her path. Alright, so immediately switch to Minerva, head over to this first gatekeeper.
The mission started.
And now Leanna has access to her fort that she needs to take.
The darkness courses through my body. My very blood is alight with dark fire.
Such strength.
Oh, also Darius killed his dad at some point,
I don't know, but we need to
which
find
is something that Xander brings up, which is very funny. If you have played Fates.
The power flows. Darkness will consume everything.
Alright, so this gatekeeper is down, so Minerva has access to her sage, so we aren't going to deal with that for a while now. Azura takes out this gatekeeper,
Why? Why are you doing
giving her access to the next section where she needs to go, and then we'll switch over to Leanna and get her set up.
Listen to us. Darius!
I've received a report.
This level is really annoying because it likes to give you these short little cutscenes and interrupt your combos.
This is what Darius has absorbed.
So Leanna has reached her sage, so we'll give that order and then switch back over. And this Azura stage is actually going to be the first one we deal with.
Those turrets are in the way.
I'll take the lead.
So here's the first stage.
Trust me. The mission started.
Nice and easy.
They're in trouble.
Oh, didn't quite get him. There we go. Switch back over, send them to Darius because they'll finish him off later. There's your sage.
I like the profit margins. He's got nothing to worry about. I like the profit margins.
Fools! Are you too blind to see your efforts accomplish nothing?
Alright, there's sage number 2. When we switch to Minerva, I am just going to immediately use a warrior special. It's not actually necessary, but it's way safer because, once again, I brought up Minerva's bad res before. I have had it before where I switch to her there, and she immediately gets one-shot by the sage, which is very unfortunate. So now we've reached Darius. I'm targeting the wrong enemy repeatedly. Okay, so my goal here, once he stops doing this, there we go, is to just push him into a corner. Because once he's in a corner, I can infinitely combo him, and so he just can't do anything at that point.
This is our only chance to save him.
So Darius has reached his corner, where he will be staying for a while. Oh, we find out that he's being controlled. So he's not actually evil. It's Sacred Stones. I'm just going to be doing this for a bit, so if we have any announcements, now is a great time.
I cannot control my body. No.
Not any donations right this moment, but as a reminder, 2DCon is hosting us once again. We'd like to thank them for working with us, the largest video game convention in Minnesota. We got our start here in 2015 and continue to provide us space and resources at their convention every August to host our marathons. Learn more about them at 2dcon.net. Don't forget to get your donations in yet. We still have all the way to go on that Squidlet All Buses Befriend All Squidlets incentive. We've got our bid wars for the Undertrail 2 pacifist ending race between Helix and DJ Fatso. Name the human, hug the goat. We want to do those. And the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise bid wars. Lots of good stuff to see there. Let's get those donations in, and don't forget that all the Twitch revenue during this marathon will be going directly to CCRF.
Are you sure you want to
All right, thank you. So now we beat Darius. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't remember what happens to him. I don't remember if we'd like save him or if he dies, he just doesn't show up again. So now we are trying to kick the monsters out of our hometown now that we have the Shield of Flames, and we were able to do that. This is the most hectic level because there are a bunch of objectives you have to do. So we need to take all of the forts. We need to use 4 dragon veins, and we need to kill 6 specific enemies that spawn 3 at a time. So 3 of those 6 are spawned at the very beginning, and 2 of them are monsters. So we're just going to have Leanna mop them up immediately with her. I didn't actually mention this. The extra weapons that we got for them have monster effectiveness. So she just took care of the first one, and now Azura will start taking forts while she deals with that.
I'm not surprised that the Outrealm portals are under such heavy guard.
We can close the portals if we defeat those enemies in the way.
Okay, so that is the first fort down, and so we're able to continue on our merry way. Here's the second fort with the first dragon vein that I mentioned. The dragon veins on this level will open up the map and give us access to different areas, which is required on this particular level because the last fort actually requires you to use all 4 dragon veins. And then here is the second Outrealm sentry. So once Leanna takes care of hers, which she just did, then we are done with the first wave of those guys. Minerva hopefully will take her fort pretty quick. Things can get wonky if she takes a while. Okay, perfect. So we're going to have Minerva go down to this one. Lucina to this fort, and Marth to this fort as well. Those 2 sword units are going to take the middle fort. I want both of them there because I'm going to want to use their falchions because 2 more dragons are going to spawn, and as mentioned earlier, falchions have dragon effectiveness.
We've got nothing to worry about. Trust me. We've got nothing to worry about. Mission complete.
Alright, just a few more forts to go. Here's the tower that is blocking our access to the last fort.
We may be able to fix it with a dragon vein, but
So we're going to use this dragon vein, and the last dragon vein is in the fort that I told Minerva to take. So we're going to switch over Minerva and go grab that.
The mission's starting.
Part of the reason why I said this level is so hectic, in addition to all of the, here's case in point, in addition to all of the things that you have to accomplish on this level, the objectives can spawn in different orders. So sometimes we get access to the final fort first, and sometimes the last Outrealm sentries spawn first. So one of them is right there. Marth is taking care of it. One of them is right there. And we're going to do this, and this. Okay, so we've taken all but 1 fort. There's an Outrealm sentry over here that Azura is going to take care of. And we sent units with effectiveness to take care of the other 2. So those should be fine without any intervention from us. Actually, Leanna already got hers. And Marth got his. Alright, and the tower is up, so we have access to our final fort. And the enemy there is a dragon, so I'm going to tell Lucina to go deal with that.
Thank goodness.
Ready for understood. Okay. Mission complete.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is this.
We closed another portal. That should cut off the fiends.
Okay, I'm gonna have Minerva pair up. Minerva does not have effectiveness, but I can actually control her unlike Lucina, so that's helpful. Huh, that did a lot of damage. The thing where you can tell an ally to attack, it still applies effectiveness, so I sent in Lucina to attack the monster, or the dragon, and so that extra bonus hit did about half its health. I've completed all of the objectives on this level, but the game hasn't ended, or the level hasn't ended, just because once again we're waiting for this final mission to begin. And so as soon as it gives us that mission, we're able to actually trigger the end state. So after this one, we only have 2 levels left. So the next level is... sorry, I didn't think about that. So the next level we need to... is another weird one. I'm just going to leave it at that for now. It also has another weird deployment where we're going to send units in different directions, just because we need their types of weapons at those spots.
I'm pleased we've been able to get to know each other better.
So now that we've reclaimed the city, we're going to take the fight to the Chaos Dragon Velazark, who's the one who's responsible for all of this mess. In order to get to him, we're going to have to fight through some enemies. So first, you pair up. No. You follow you.
Yes,
You follow
understood.
you. You
Yes,
follow you.
Onward.
Oh, I missed an order. I need to pause when this starts. So the first objective that we're going to try to get done on this level is take a couple forts and use a Dragon Vein to get rid of some vines that are blocking our access to the rest of the level.
The sheer size of the enemy forces. The Chaos
So here's our
isn't
Dragon
making
Vein,
this easy.
and we'll get rid of this fort first.
Everyone, ready yourselves for battle.
I've received a report. The branches are
Alright, we're
blocking our
fine.
path. We can't get by.
Perhaps we can clear the way using the Dragon Vein.
So here's our Dragon Vein activation. Right up here are 2 archers, so we just kind of have to hope that they don't hit Minerva. It's normally fine as long as you don't switch to Minerva. I think units that you aren't using have massive damage reduction, so she actually isn't in danger most of the time, but I have had her die there before.
The branches disappeared. Now we can get through.
So now we've cleared the left side, so Azura is able to advance. We're just going to get her over here and then just park her here for her to do some stuff later on. And I did exactly what I said I wasn't going to do, and I switched to Minerva right when she was surrounded by archers. But we're fine. No issues.
Mission complete.
Okay, the path is clear.
So we're going to have... so we need to take the top 3 forts that are there. Actually, we don't need to take the forts. We need to kill mages that are in
All
there.
that remains is to secure the
So
final fort.
Azura's taking the left,
Only
Leanna's taking the
time.
middle, and Minerva is going to take the right.
The mages casting that wall of darkness must be around here somewhere.
So on our way to actually get to the forts, all of them are closed at the moment, but they don't have any gatekeepers. And so in just 1 second, some gatekeepers are going to spawn, and there they are. And they are special gatekeepers in that they are shadows of the units that we deployed on this map. So Minerva is going to take care of Azura, not a problem. The other 2 are, we're using Takumi, because he's an archer, to take out our Hinoka clone, and then we're going to be using Marth, because he has a falchion, to take out our Minerva clone.
The imposters are practiced in their original fighting styles. Careful.
And there goes clone number 1,
Take up arms against such familiar faces.
and Takumi already took out his, and Marth took out his. So we've taken out all of the shadows, so all we need to do is take these mages out. We don't actually need to take the fort, so I can ignore that monster. I'm just going to be doing some mopping up, and I think now would be the time for any final announcements.
Let's go.
The last level is kind of hectic.
Right on.
Trust me.
Not any donations right now, but we can get those coming in soon enough. As a reminder, the Midwest Speed Fest is in support of the Children's Cancer Research Fund, which supports the brightest scientists whose ideas make the greatest impact for children with cancer. They work closely with researchers to fund innovative new projects to quickly so the promising new discoveries can continue uninterrupted. The researchers share their findings with more than 9,000 experts across the globe, collaborating with others to accelerate discoveries because childhood cancer affects the whole family and community. They also fund quality of life services that enhance healing and care. Learn more at childrenscancer.org.
Mission complete.
All right, thank you. This last wall should go down in just 1 second, and then we just need to take this fort, and that will be the end of the second to last level.
Is to show those mages the true meaning of pain. Mission complete.
All right, so there goes the wall. Oddly, it shunts Hanoka over to the left or the right when that happens, so we can just recenter ourselves. We defeated the monster that's in charge of the fort, but we don't have it yet. You also might notice that the icon is a sword. That is because we are getting one final shadow to appear, and it is a Leanna shadow. And now it is time for Rowan's only good voice line of the entire game. I don't like Rowan. Sorry.
Sis has an imposter? One of her is more than enough.
So true.
The mission
And that's the end of the
started.
level. So now we're into the final level, and this one we are going to beat Velazark. As the Chaos Dragon, Velazark is going to mess things up on our way to actually get to him.
Chaos Dragon should be
So on all the previous levels, our units have been fairly close together when we've done our deployments. On this level, they're going to be scattered around the map. So we're going to do a lot of moving some stuff around at the beginning to actually get everyone where we want them to be.
I can't believe this.
And also, this is the level with the dialogue skip that I only hit once. So there's a good chance that my donation is going to creep up to 50.
I'm pleased we've been able to get to
Something new has been added.
All right. So the interesting thing about this level is the main objective, really, that matters, is that there are 4 dragons in the different corners of the map. And so that's why we've been carrying around our falchions, or we've had our it's part of the reason why we've had our falchions around, so that they have the dragon effectiveness and can easily take care of those final enemies. So there's 3 falchions, 4 dragons, but that's not a problem. So I need to undeploy Takumi, swap these 2, you do that, you do that.
Ready for orders.
Swap these 2, undeploy you. Oops.
Red understood.
You do that.
Yes?
Yes?
Swap you down here.
Understood.
Yeah, it
Take
will
out
be
that
done.
gatekeeper.
How's
All right,
that?
so there's our
Let's
full
go.
deployment. So Azura's up in the upper left by herself. So she's going to take out the dragon that we're not actually using a falchion to kill. So we're going to go ahead, run forward with Leanna, take out this one fort. Have her attack a gatekeeper,
Yes?
tell Marth to attack the first dragon.
Understood.
Switch over to Azura. She takes out that gatekeeper,
Let's get after it.
and then she's going to go deal with her dragon now.
Take it out.
Let's go.
There's no path to it. It's as if space is twisting all around us.
Clear the way.
What if we use the dragon veins in the forts to clear a path?
Let's take
All right, so one dragon down. We're going to tell her to take out this gatekeeper.
It will be done.
Switch to Lucina. Just
Yes?
as a safety strat, we're going to tell Minerva to guard the fort.
Right.
If you don't do that, your units will sometimes just run into the enemy and start taking a bunch of damage, which adds a bunch of stuff to the dialogue queue. So we're just going to avoid that by telling them to guard the fort where they will be constantly healed.
Feel the power of darkness.
All right, so that's the third dragon down. Marth got his taken care of earlier.
Yes?
So we're going to have him guard the fort. Switch back to Azura.
Feels just like the dark
Wait, which one is the
Carriers fell
gatekeeper?
victim to it, a total
This one.
smash.
I was attacking the wrong one.
That's true. He's
So on the other side of this gate is a fort with a Corrin shadow. So we're just going to take care of Corrin real quick because we have the weapon triangle advantage. Crom still hasn't taken care of his crystal yet, but that's fine. That's always the last one to go. And he finally got it, so I'm going to order him back to his base.
What? Right.
Alright, so now switch over to Leanna. We're going to use this Dragon Vein to give us access to Velazark, pair up, and then we are going to run back over here real quick and grab an Awakening Pot. Or not Awakening Pot, Warrior Special Pot. So now all that's left is to beat Velazark.
Mission complete.
It appears our
Well,
path has been cleared.
I'm going to grab this real quick. Oops. Okay. So you'll notice in the upper right, it still says defeat the Fafnirs. Until that text goes away, if we knock Velazark past his first HP bar, he will heal back up to full. So I'm just, I'm not trying to do too much damage right now. I'm just kind of trying to chunk him down a little bit. Alright, he's being way more aggro than usual. He uses weapons sometimes, and we got a good roll. He decided to use swords, so we can use Azura to get some good damage on him. And the Sage's spawn is the one that I mentioned I only had gotten once, so that's the last dialogue skip, and once again, it was a miss. So I got Velazark down most of the way out of his first HP bar, so I am just tapping him a little bit more. I definitely don't want him to reset his HP, obviously. As soon as this mage text goes away, which it is now we can go all out on him. So we're just gonna be cycling between Awakenings and Warrior Specials to do all of his damage. So there goes his first HP bar. So that was our first Warrior Special. Now we'll use our first Awakening.
That means it's time to kick some Chaos Dragon tail.
There goes his second HP bar.
The surrounding area feels strange somehow.
Is it that the weaker he gets, the weaker his connection to the other worlds becomes?
If that's the case, soon we may be returning to our own worlds.
Oh, that was some... Okay, that was weird timing, but it's fine. So there was the end of Awakening animation, which we actually haven't seen up to this point. There goes his third HP bar. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Switch to Azura.
The Chaos Dragon is wielding a weapon?
We could use that to our advantage. Remember, weapons have weaknesses. Let's go.
I'm going to... So there goes my second Awakening, and so I'm effectively out of Awakenings and Warrior Specials. But thankfully, just like there was that pot with an Awakening in here, there's also another pot right over here that's a rainbow pot. So that'll just refill us on everything, and we'll be able to carry it out to the end of the game. So I'll re-enter Warrior Special, or Awakening.
Let's go. Clear the way. I've received a report.
Now he's changing somehow.
When I get his HP to 0, there will be another short animation, and then there'll be a black screen on time, which is coming up faster than I thought. So time in just a couple seconds, and
Let me show you what I can do.
time.
Are you sure you want to skip?
And that's Fire Emblem Warriors. It's a really fun game. Not too many people do the run, but if you're interested, there's a link to the Discord on the SRC page. And just if you have any questions or if you want to learn it, just let me know. Yeah, I'm on there. You can just ping me. You can also find me at twitch.tv/spiderc. That's it for me. Have a good Midwest Speedfest. Thank you.